And there we have it. It is now done. Powerful, my first ever official indie game, is now completely finished. For the past 5 months, I've been working on a futuristic dystopian 3D platformer where the player must restore the energy to the people by ascending the skyscraper that holds it all and releasing it back to the city. In this devlog, I will be covering all of the final biggest changes I made to get this game done, and by God, there are a lot of them. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get straight into the video. Okay, so getting straight into it, this is what the game looked like about, I'm trying to see where I last did this. So this was the 3rd game build, and that was done on the 15th of April. This was done just over a month and a half ago. And it has all, this is the main menu. I'm just going to go through like the general first basis of everything. Main menu is incredibly plain. The UI is pretty diabolical. Is that the right word? I don't know. It may be the right word. But it does function. It does function. This is the first functional test of the game. So it loads you in. And straight away, we have this intro. There will be audio to it, but I'm not going to put the audio in this video because it'll mess around with the background audio. So I'm just going to leave it out, and that can be something in the game. So major issues starting off with this intro, terrible quality. I was using a texture to make it rather than like the Unreal cutscene stuff and like cinematic machines. So it looked a bit naff. And also, the biggest issue, this is the intro. So yeah, I like how it shows the gameplay, but it also shows that the city that we're supposed to restore power to is glowing. So it looks like it already has power, and it kind of negates the interest. I like the fading though. I do like that fade. I did keep that. So that's the intro. Straight away, this is the tutorial. So I kept this way of teaching the player stuff because realistically, it's pretty obvious. You jump and you hop on this. But straight away, I'll come into this later, the environment, it's a void. It doesn't look like you're anywhere. Like, how am I supposed to know this is a skyscraper? You don't. Also, with jumping, so if I run forward and press jump, I'm taking my hand off the W key and I still move. And that means, if I can quickly show you by getting up here, if I was to say climb up here and I jump, I can't, there's nothing I could do. I can't, if I over jump, there's absolutely nothing I can do, and that is very frustrating. That was one of the other main issues. All of the design I actually quite like. All of these assets I made myself. This game was made entirely with no AI, no assets, no nothing. Just everything was used in Blender and Unreal and Audacity, Photoshop, Illustrator, that kind of stuff. Then you have the second level. So the general systems of the game are functional. Like, this is the checkpoint, but there is not yet a save system. So if I was to back out right now, this would not save. But apart from that, this is what every single level is going to be like. So, and then if I press enter, it does nothing. Enter is supposed to be the pause menu. That's not in this version either. I think I might have included it in the last devlog. So this demo is slightly before that, but we're going to all that in a bit. So this is a basis of like what was the game, and then now I'm going to go into every single change I've made. And all of them are revamps of everything, massive revamps, and how the game looks now in its basically finished product. So let's get into the changes. We'll start off here. This is the new main menu. If I load the game up, this is what the new main menu looks like. Now, one big issue I still kind of have is it lacks movement, but I think it's okay because the background is a city, and it's not meant to have movement. It's not meant to look very alive. So I think I'm okay with it looking like having no movement. The biggest change I made, obviously, is making all of the background into the city. I've been placed here on the ground, so it looks like I'm one of the people in the city looking towards a skyscraper, which is glowing compared to everything else, centering it in the screen, meaning that this is going to be the objective. It directs the player to what their goal is going to be. Then we always have the title right across the middle. I had a little black background in the middle so you can actually see it. And then we have the 3 buttons that all do work, luckily now. So what I can do now, originally, there was the start and the exit button. Now when I press start, it will either load me into an already existing game or create an already existing game by using a save function. Then I have the reset button. Oh, okay. Again, that is something to change. When you click it, it should just be this, so it looks cool. But when you press the reset button, this is me deleting my save data, so I now start the game again. But whoa, we don't want to, no. We do not want to share that bit yet. But this is generally what we've got. It all works, all functions. Exit, I can exit out the game now. Visually, much better. I think it tells a lot more to the player straight away. And there is audio. Again, I probably just won't show any of the audio in this video. And that could be something interesting to look at when the game officially releases at the end of next month. Oh, when this video comes out? Yeah, no. And end of June is when this game will be released, because I need to do a lot of marketing and very, very minor bug fixes, if there are any that come up. So this is the overall design change for the main menu, and all of these significantly more useful buttons. I've made sure to put the reset button in a complete different color. Now, whilst this does detract from the overall visual style, it means that a player won't accidentally click on reset when they're trying to load level 9 or something, or like when you're right at the end of the game and you accidentally click reset. That would be the most frustrating thing, I think, imaginable. So we put it we put it right away from start and right to the right at a very different color, so the player knows that do not click this button unless you actually want to reset your progress. But yeah, that is the main menu. I think it's much better. It's just better to look at, and it's more thematically correct. So yeah, that is the first biggest change, the main menu system. Let's move on now to the pause menu revamp. Okay, so for the pause menu, we're going to go into the tutorial, which we will come on to all the other stuff in a second. So we've loaded into the tutorial. It's all looking functionally, looking nice. And let's say let's say they want level 4. This is level 4. And I want to stop the game. Usually, there'll be a tooltip that will come up, which hasn't come up on this level because it's the tutorial, so it shouldn't come up. And it also doesn't come up because I've loaded it in, so it would work if it was in order. But anyway, what it will do is I'm going to press enter. It sets them. This is if you come out of this now, the only issue here is that it's already set to 0, but before that it is set to max. So what it's done now, it basically was on this. I open the pause menu and it sets it to 0. And then I can adjust it. And all the adjustments work. Obviously, again, audio is not in, but I can assure you it's working. I can assure you it's working. It is not just a visual thing. But it has all of the major things again. Resume, exit. So, and it does actually pause the game. So if you look, these are moving and I press enter and they all stop. Everything stops. So you can just, you can back away from the game if you need to. It won't sacrifice your progress if you do need to. This is overall so much better to look at. You can actually see it on your screen because obviously it's very dark or very light in some areas. And previously the pause menu, which was shown in the last devlog, it was very transparent. So if I did this now, it would be impossible to see resume because it would be empty background. So you would see the letters and try to put it against these bits here. And it wouldn't be very pleasant to look at. So that is the new pause menu. Gives players a chance to take a break and not have to sacrifice anything to do so, because the player should be in full control of their experience at all times. Otherwise, it just feels a little bit icky. But yeah, that's the pause menu. We are now moving on to the environment revamp, which actually, no, we will cut. And up now is the environment revamp. So this is the tutorial. Previously, it was a black void, and now it is basically 4 of the same planes, each of them having this kind of circuitry board thing that I've made on Adobe Illustrator. And originally, I had it so there were no lights, and these things were emissive. And I'll quickly show you what the emissive version looks like, because it's pretty bad. We'll go into the thing. This is how I organize all of my stuff, by the way. Every single blueprint has its own folder inside the blueprints thing, and then we have the main blueprints and interactions and stuff. I'm trying to think what this one was called now. It must be called wall. And then we go into materials, and then so here was this. So this is the stuff I make in Blender. I make it, export it out as diffuse and emission. I then take it into here, and as you can see, it's not got the emissive texture. But if I apply the emissive texture, and we go out, and I then load the game, I personally, so I like this. It looks cool. But the biggest issue is it means that it is doing exactly what I didn't want it to do, which is detracting from the objective, like climbing all of this, it detracts from it. So to fix this, and also it adds a bit to ambience, I guess. Like, if I'm looking up and I can see the ceiling, it kind of takes away from the scale of the building. So the way to fix this is what I did, and that is to basically go in here and take away the emission. So you basically get this instead. And then have flashing lights, which are emergency lights, to indicate that the player is in somewhere they're not supposed to be, because we are breaking and entering technically right now. But I also wanted the ambience. It's a bit eerie as well. Like, every now and again, you can see the walls glowing up and the rest of it is darkness. But it also means that I can stay focused on the emissive materials, which is on all of the objectives of stuff you can jump on, which also indicates to the player what you can go on and what you shouldn't go. Like, if this was emissive, I might think that, I'm supposed to maybe go over here, maybe wander around for a bit, but no, it's just this. Now, what I'm hoping is, like, players won't just, like, roam around, because, like, obviously there's nothing in here. It might actually be quite interesting to put, like, an Easter egg in here if I really want to, but I won't do that yet. That will be something that comes in a future update to the game. So I'll go over that at the end. But that is the environment revamp. I can go over some other levels as well. So this is the tutorial that I've been using to demonstrate all these things and the stuff on. But let's go to level 5, for example. This is the hard level of these things. The backwards and forwards block is what I call them. Okay, so this is the thing with the save system. Basically, I'm pressing W right now. I'm releasing it because it's a little glitch you can do. But I'm actually going to leave this in the game because I think it means you can make cooler jumps and do longer range jump. But as you can see, it's a much bigger environment. So you can barely see the walls, but it still has the same effect of the ambience and stuff. So yeah, this is level 5 and what it looks like with a massive scaled version of the tutorial section. So that's the environment revamp. Obviously, the environment is the platforming parts itself, and then this big skull at the bottom indicates death. So I died at it, yeah. So the environment itself was originally just supposed to be the platformer, but it's nice to have that background stuff as well. So yeah, that is the environment revamp. So which one do we want to go into now? All right, so next we're going to go into the end and intro cutscenes. And I don't want to show too much of them because it's supposed to be part of the experience, but we'll show them anyway. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, we've got the end scene and we've got the intro. So when I go on the main menu, what it will do, it will basically, so I'm here obviously, as you can see, I'm at the bottom, it will load in. I press reset start and it will load the start of this cutscene. Now, if I will show you the entire cutscene because you can't hear the audio, and the audio adds a lot to it, I think, because it obviously introduces what you're supposed to do. But this just generally shows, what you're supposed to do, what is the state of the world you live in right now, and it's to add stakes to the gameplay. So now that I know what I'm playing the game for, it gives me a bigger reason to play the game. For example, I think story is a great use of a great way to make the players feel motivation to play the game. And this is the ultimate energy source. It's a bit of a gag where the ultimate energy source is literally like the symbol of electricity, the like Zap logo, which is also in the logo itself. And then loads you in. And that was the intro. It gives you a quick overview of like what is the setting, what is the mood, and then the audio is what gives you your objectives. And then we load straight into the tutorial. But I then we want to go into the end scene. So as you can see, this is, in fact, let me load up the intro actually. I think that would make more sense. So load up the intro. Here we are. It's a very dim, desolate environment. Like if do that, because none of these have emissive materials on them. Only this is the emissive material. And all of this red light you see, that's reflections from this. So that shows how all of the energy has been usurped. Also, the color theory behind red is like red versus blue. There's a big distinction there. And red is usually referred to as like the enemy, violence, blood. None of that is really part of this game, but the enemy, basically, the opposition. And then you have blue. By the way, like, for example, Clash Royale uses it. Red is for the King Tower that you're going against, and blue is for the one you're playing as. And then this variation, I don't know what the word is, for each player. And then we end up the end cutscene. And this is where it's much different. So as you can see, it's still dim when I'm in this mode, in editor mode. But basically, when you free the energy sphere, or the ultimate energy source, I thought it would be funny to have all of the energy basically come from this tower and fall down from the sky like rain. And as it falls down, it will go into these buildings and basically light them back up again. I thought this was just a better way of just having, rather than just having like zap and then it all lights up that way. I think this is a more interesting way, more maybe comedic. I don't know if it's comedic, but it's better, I think. But then we go into this one. As you can see, all of the buildings are now glowing. You've got all of these things falling down around it, indicating that the power has been released and power full. Exactly. It was all intentional. And then it again shows you it is using different cuts and shots compared to the first one, but they're very similar because it's just trying to show off the city. And then you have thank you for playing Powerful, and then a couple of seconds more and should just take yes. And now we're back on the main menu and it's all glowing again. So yeah, and it's supposed to show you that, oh, you've played the game. But if I press reset, will that do anything? No. Okay, perfect. This basically shows you complete the game. I did not actually know it did that, but I think that's very cool that it does. I wanted it to do that. I don't know how it's just done that now. You live and you learn, as they say. But then what if I load it up again? So what if I now load up the main menu? No, because then these are things that I don't know. But that is the end and intro cutscenes. They show off the story. They give a reason and motivation for why the player is playing the game, and it also gives a sense of accomplishment. When you see all of this, it feels like you've done something, and that is very important for obviously game. You need that reward. Just completing the levels by themselves is a reward, but it's not the biggest reward, and it's not the thing that will keep you playing. So yeah, that is the end and intro cutscenes. Moving on, we have the end level. So here we have the end level. Oh my god, I don't remember I was that big. So we've taken away the environment this time because you're now at the top of the skyscraper. See, I didn't want any of that in the background because I don't want to enclose this space. This should be like quite a sci-fi abstract space. Abstract, is that the right word? I don't know, maybe, possibly. But I didn't want the environment because it feels very enclosed, and this should be, you should only focus on one thing, and that is these two. The switch, and that activates the energy sphere. So we spawn in, and we hit that, and that saves the game. And you got all of these things, and this shows like all the energy is like trapped, and there's movement. This adds movement to the scene because there's movement every other thing. And then you have obviously the direction. I did try, this is done in Adobe Illustrator as well. I did put it out as like 1000 pixels per inch or whatever the PPI means. But it still came out a little bit like this. But to be honest, it's realistically, it's fine. I don't think players will mind that much if you kind of see the vectorizers, rasterize image. So then we walk over to here, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, that says full on the button. It's not really that obvious, but you walk over to here. Now, I'm a little bit worried because if you walk over to this, you don't really necessarily know what to do with it. It does look like it should do something because I think that is evident that that's a button and that all of this surrounding stuff, there's only one thing you can do. I can't jump off anywhere, so there's none of that. So it should direct the player over here. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to hope people understand that press E. Now, when I press E, it activates this little animation. It spins and activates and it's just freed the energy. And then loads into the end scene. And see, as you can see, the energy is now all freed. And it is spawning in. And so that's how that works. And then you can still exit and stuff during the level. So yeah, so I wanted this to be a really short last level because I don't really want to make the player, they beat the entire game by this point. They don't want to do any more platforming. They just want to finish the game and get that done. And this kind of gives them that just straight objective. Walk over to it and press E. It's a simple objective, but it still gives a good reward. You see a little animation. There's sounds that come on, and you see that the energy source gets released. Again, everything made in Blender. Everything textured in Blender. Because if you get really close up, it looks a bit poo, but we're not going to be that close. So it's fine. And that's the end scene. It's a short level. Again, as I said, you don't really want to be making the player do more work just to finish the game. Like this is just it's just a segue into the end cutscene, so the player feels like they're not just going straight from platforming into a cutscene. It's like there's one little more minor task you have to do, and that is that. Now, the next one is the biggest change and the most important change to this game that I think will make this game 10 times more playable, and that is the revamped movement system. So let's get into that. All right, so the revamped movement system. I've gone on to level 4 to show this one. The medium level of the back and forwards block. Basically, I'll quickly explain what I mean by the levels. So you have level 1, the tutorial teaches you the up-down block. That's the easy version of the up-down block levels. Level 1 is the middle, level 2 is the third, and then it goes in sets of 3. So level 3 to 5 is the forward and backwards block. Level 6 to 8 is the rotation block. 9 is like the super hard level. 10 is a secret Easter egg level. You do level 9, you go to level 10, but it just adds a little extra bonus that I thought would be cool to do. And I was just wanting to explore how to use turrets, to be honest, but I won't be going into that because I think that is supposed to be meant to see. I mean, it will be seen in the trailer probably, but I don't really want to advertise this game as a turret game because it's not. It's just an extra bonus thing. And then level 11 is the end level, but I had to name them like this because that's how they load each level. So it incrementally adds 1 when you complete a level, and then it will attach that to the word level. But yeah, so let's get into the movement system. Previously, as I showed in the first clip, was when you press W, oh god, hang on, I need to fucking reset the thing. Let me go to, so I'll actually have to reset it in the game, which I do quite like because it means it does work. We go here, we reset, exit, and then go to level 4 I was on. Now it'll work? Yes, perfect. Okay. Same for the big level. I think we already showed this one. But so previously, for the movement system, it was, I jump forward and it just keeps going. I'm holding down W while doing that. I'm holding down W, holding down W. Now, if I move forward and jump, I let go, stops me mid-place. Jump, let go, stops me in mid-air. And let me demonstrate how this works now with like the movement system. So let's say I want to make this jump. If I was to make this jump now, I did this, that would be what the old system would look like. I have no control over stopping myself. But now, if we just get back to it, okay, we'll have to wait one little second. Get back up there. Now, if I want to make it, I'll wait for it to come back. I can jump over it and stop. There we go. I can control exactly where I land. It's so much better. I've also done it so if I jump this way, there's now air control. That I didn't really show it there, but I can like move around while in midair, and I really like that because again, it's just more. There's more control to player. There is, as I showed in the original scene, there is a bug where I'm just spamming W right now, and it is making me float, but I don't think that really matters. I think it'll be actually a cool thing to get trick shots in and stuff, so I'm leaving it in for now. And then also, if I spam jump, it doesn't maybe go up, but in the game, if you spam the space bar, it will just repeatedly play the jump audio. I don't really know how to fix that. I've tried, but there we go. Okay, but as you can see, that is the new movement system. It's not the biggest change. I've also increased the gravity and just lowered the acceleration so you're not flying around the place. But if I can show you here, there we go. So I can like, okay, I fucked up there, but generally speaking, gravity is increased, air control is increased, and you can now fully control when you stop, where you land. It's just so much better. So much better. Thank you very much to, I'm actually going to tag him in this. Oh yeah, no, I will. So I don't actually know if I say that. You know what? No. I will just say that I had a lot of help when it came to feedback from people in my Discord and other people and some other game developers on YouTube, and massive help. One of them actually left. So someone in the Discord left a lovely long, basically paragraph of feedback, and from that I was much more easily able to go through and fix each part. And then I had another game dev have a look at the work on the playtest on itch.io and left a really, really in-depth feedback form on the game, and all of it has brought it to where it has been today. So thank you all if you are watching. I really appreciate it, and it did make this game go from pretty poo to playable, basically. Now, there is only one more thing. It's quite a small thing, but I think it's worthy noting nonetheless, and I could probably show it in this part, but I will move on to the next part. And then after that, we will go into what's happening now. The game's finished, so like, what am I doing? So let's move on to the tooltip. All right, so this is going to be a really quick one. I spawn in, and there's press enter for pause menu. That's it. That's literally it, and then it goes away. I'm not going to spend any time going over this. In fact, what I will do though is I will show you the UI I use for this. There's the end screen, pause menu, get the UI up. Was it the pause menu? Tooltip. We will look at the tooltip. Well, we've already looked at the pause menu. Here's the tooltip. So you can't see it currently, but it starts off on 0 transparency or render opacity. If I can find where that is. It's here somewhere. I'm sure. Okay, well, maybe I'm waffling then. Am I just being blind? Where's the... There's a render opacity, and you can change it, and it will make it fade in and out. Oh, no, I'm waffling. I'm waffling completely. There is the play animation. No, there is that. Okay, I have no idea where that is then. There's on here, on the right, there's supposed to be a render transform. Guys, I promise. I swear that... There we go. Right in front of me. Render opacity. So it starts off at this, and if I do that, it comes away, and then it goes like that. And that's it. That's literally it. So we just could part and save that. And that's it. It just shows the player like how to access the pause menu without having to clog up the screen with UI. Like, I really don't know how that fixed, but yeah. It comes at every level to remind the player of how to get to it. I didn't want this game. One of the big design choices was there should be no UI on the screen at all. At least not consistently. So when you're playing, all that should matter is the gameplay and no UI, because there's no UI in the game that matters and should be more important. I really messed that up. There should be no UI that is more important than the gameplay, because it's a platformer. What do I need? Like, jump button? How to press dump? It just ruins the atmosphere, I think. And it makes it more immersive when there's no UI, in my opinion. Unless the game is centered about UI, like in RTS games, you kind of need UI if you want to play the game. But yeah, oh, there we go. And I just want to show you guys this jump, because this was a bug level. Okay, that's proof that you can complete that jump. But it's a lot more fast-paced now as well, I think, with the new moving system, because I have, again, more control. So if I jump now, well, there we go. So those are all the major changes. Let's get straight into the final thing I wanted to mention, which is going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to go into where is Powerfall going from here? Where am I going from here? What's happening? So we'll go straight into it. I need to stop saying straight into it. Let's segue into the next segment of the video. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different here. I'm actually going to make the background video to this my Milanote page for how I've organized all of this, and just like a little insight into the behind the scenes kind of stuff. So this is all the stuff for this video, Devlog 4. Now, there have been 4 devlogs. I'm looking on my other monitor right now, and redesigning my horror game was the first devlog technically, because that's what I was originally doing. If we go to YouTube, as you can see, this is all my each video I kind of like make into a little board, and I then go into it. Like, some things have more planning than others. Like ranking survival games, you don't need to plan tier list video. But other games have a lot more planning, like analyzing puzzles in games. 33 cards. Yeah. All of this was for that video. I mean, it's probably not that much compared to other things. And here's a little script I made. Like, I sometimes script my videos, I sometimes don't. It really depends on like what the video is, to be honest. But going back to YouTube, I found show this. Yeah, it's a quick fun show. I had this here because I thought that was interesting. But go back to Devlog 4. So we're on Devlog 4, and this is the final devlog of Powerfall. I'm not going to make any more because the game's finished. There's nothing else to devlog. It has been a pretty good experience overall. I'll also switch to Unreal as well, just so it's something to watch. Generally speaking, there's not much else I want to do with this game. I want it to kind of be done. I do want it to be done. I think this is it's something that's shared between so many game developers, that when you finish your first game, or when you make your first game, it's not going to be as good as, your second game or third game, but it's important to make sure that you finish it. Finishing your very first game is, I think, the best way to progress, because there is so much that I've learned just by doing this that if I had just spent my time doing tutorials, I wouldn't learn anything. Most of this stuff has just been learned via tutorials. Obviously, I do game dev at uni, and all of that has been really beneficial. But the most beneficial thing has been to do it and to put it into practice. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I hope that people who play this game are going to be more skilled at it than me. But going into where am I going from here? The whole of June, I planned to spend marketing it, and that is still my plan, and I'm going to do that because I need to make sure that because one of the biggest downfalls, I think, of games is people don't market them. Realistically, if I put this on Steam with nothing, it's not going to make any sales. It probably won't make many sales. I don't have any expectations to make that many sales. Currently, my biggest milestone with this game is I spent 80 quid putting it onto Steam. I just want to make that money back. So I need to make, I don't know what the price will be currently, but it's not going to be very high because I don't think this is worth more than £2 to £3. So it'll be within that price range. Jesus Christ. And there's also a few more things that I would like to update in the future. So this is how I do it. If the game is enjoyable for people, or if people play the game, they're like, I would have more fun if you added this. So let's say like there's a speed running timer thing. I would add that. I'd be fine with adding that. I think that would be a really good addition to the game. And I'm just going to make this jump. Oh my God, it's so good at the game. Because I think that would be a really good addition. And it would just add like a whole new variety of gameplay to it itself. This is one of the blocks play. I just want to show you guys what this does. This is just like a launch into the fucking sky kind of block. Then I jump here, back down, Livash. And then here is the checkpoint. Just saying, for when you play the game, please hit the checkpoints. The whole game is based on the checkpoints. If you don't hit the checkpoints, nothing will be saved. And it'll make me really upset. But you upset as well, probably, when playing the game. This is supposed to be the hard level, by the way. I hope I'm not making it look too easy, because I know I'm like really good, but this is also... No, we won't show you that bit. We won't show you that bit. And as you can see, big environment with this one. God, I'm so sorry. I will cut up... Maybe I won't. No, I won't get to that. Jump. So I'm getting into just finishing this, to be honest. And then I'll continue what I was saying. There we go. All right. Sorry. Going back to what I was saying. So, as I said, all of June is going to be marketing. Release date is going to be end of June. Oh, yeah, because I messed up the move system. And all I'm really going to be doing then, as I said, just marketing. That's all I've got left for this game. And as soon as this game is done and it's out on the 31st of June, is it 31st or is it 30th? Probably one of the two. That is when I will then think about... Oh dear. Okay, we probably didn't see that. That is a bug. That is a bug. We'll go back to the middle note page now. So when the game is finished, in fact, can I maybe just illustrate? Oh, there's a script for this video. I hide that. I will go down here and we'll do some drawing. So here is, May was basically finishing off the game. There's the game finished off. The game is like in its form, it's in a state where I can sell it. Then we have June. June is going to be basically getting visibility, finishing off the store page. The Steam page, by the way, is so much more complicated than I was expecting. Obviously it will come up soon enough. I will announce, it will come up hopefully around the same time I get the trailer done. By the way, if any of you know how to figure out like what is the system requirements and minimum system requirements, please let me know, because I have absolutely no idea. There's nothing on Unreal that says like, okay, check what this game can run on. I've got a gaming laptop, so I'm hoping that, I'm using a laptop. Surely if it runs on my laptop, okay, it will run on a PC, okay, is kind of my thinking, but I don't know. But so that's one thing I do need to figure out. But June is going to be getting the visibility out there, getting 2 trailers done. I'm going to make a preview trailer or an announcement trailer, and then a launch trailer on the actual date that I release it. And then we have July. July is a bit of a weird month. It's going to kind of be... basically doing any like bug fixes and things that people see, and I'll fix it. And depending on reception of the game, I will happily add stuff to the game. All depends on what people are feeling with it. But I'll basically spend bug fixing, making sure everything's okay, and on the side doing some like learning of other games that I want to do, and maybe some research into other games that I might want to do from this point onwards. But as the first game is now pretty much done, July is then going to segue into August. April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, it is August. Now, in August, I'm going away at the end of August for 2 weeks, or 1 week in August, 1 week in September. So there's not like a whole lot really to... I know the handwriting's great. I'm using my mouse, so let's not be mean. Let's not be mean. But we're going to August. August is going to be... If I've not figured out what game I want to do yet, I'll be figuring out August. And August into September, I'm either going to be doing game jams or I'm going to get straight to work on the next game, which I think is probably going to be a tower defense or a survival game. Maybe both. If I could do both, that'd be great. But I think there is a big step up from platforming, but I think it'll be really worth it, because that's the kind of game I'm more interested in. So we're going to be basically going from doing this is the platformer, tripling it in terms of difficulty to whatever the next game is. And this is kind of the scope of what I plan to do, generally speaking. So I think that really covers it for the last devlog. I think final thoughts, Powerfall has been a good experience to learn. It's taught me a lot. And it's also taught me what not to do. And that is to think of a game idea and just go for it. I don't know if you've heard of the sunken cost fallacy, but this is something that a lot of other game dev YouTubers face. When you know you have a not so good game, but you just keep grinding at it. And in all fairness, I personally think that has worked in this sense. It wasn't a necessarily good game, but now especially with that movement change, it is now, in my opinion, an actually interesting and playable and enjoyable experience. I find I enjoy playing it. I've had a few people test it and they've enjoyed playing it. So I'm really looking forward to releasing this. But yeah, just releasing the game and having the first game out there is going to feel very rewarding. I'm excited for that. And I'm very excited for what comes after. So thank you all for watching. This is the final devlog on Powerfall. I will see you all in the next video, which will probably be the trailer. I'm hoping, if I can get that out. Yeah, it'll be the trailer. And maybe another tier list video because they're really fun. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your days or evenings. And I will see you later. Goodbye.